Alright, back up again here with the round of 32 match and the CiC Qualifiers. This time we've got Santa's Friends taking on Instant Reflex. And iRex won a round of 64 matchup. Santa's Friends here managed to ride a couple of forfeits, so this is their first match in the CiC Qualifiers. And we'll see how these two relatively unknown teams do against each other. I'm expecting a good match. We'll see what happens. Hookmaster X and first pick Devour. There's that. I wonder who's going to play it. Bans are out here. Tempest, Chronos, Legionnaire, and Parasite being removed from the pool. Tempest, Chronos, Parasite, nothing too surprising there. A lot of junglers being banned out in general. Mini-Maggot also feeling like, let's get rid of that Chronos. It's really powerful suicide. Don't want to deal with it. I'll take his counterpart in Sir Bensington out of the two melee suicides that have really become popular recently. And that'll work out quite well for me, I think. Also getting rid of the Lego Parasite Tempest, obviously. Heavy emphasis here on jungle bans. Interesting that the Legionnaire is actually just the ban right off the bat, but Legion side apparently feeling like, yeah, let's not face Legionnaire. Not a hero we see picked up very often, but I think he should be. I think he's got ridiculous farm potential in jungle. He's a strong ganker and one of the better initiator heroes in the game. Also, real nice to have a jungler that doesn't just eat all sorts of farm, because it's like eventually he can leave the jungle and leave that for your carry, as opposed to a hero like Ophelia that just stays in the woods forever, or Parasite that stays in the woods forever, or Keeper, or Tempest, or whatever, that just tend to stay in the woods forever because Lego leaves, gets some initiation, and gets some kills, starts being a ganker, and that leaves some farm open for a hard carry if you choose to run it that way. But let's stop talking about a hero that's not in this game anymore, because Legion are actually out of extra time, so they're going to make some quick picks here. Devourer followed up by Hammerstorm, and that's an interesting decision. Hammerstorm, not typically considered a very good hero in general. Stun is very, very easy to dodge, has an extremely long travel time, especially with two heroes here on the Hellborn side. In Bubbles and Bensington, they can really get away from it. Perhaps not a great pick, although Bubbles was picked after Hammerstorm, so you can't really blame them for that. Devourer is certainly a hero we see very often, and if you've got a guy named Hookmaster, you got to get yourself a Devourer, because you need that Hookmaster to get some hooks. Why my team click CiC? Can you do that? Can you actually draft? I thought it was the captain's pick. Interesting. I didn't know you could draft here if you weren't the captain. Anyway, Glacius will be their third pick, so going for your support hop option here in that Glacius. Fairly well used, not one of the top tier supports I don't think. I'm not a huge fan of Glacius in general myself. I just don't feel like he does enough. I'd rather have a Witch Slayer and pretty much, or a Pyromancer. Well, Witch Slayer's closer because he has a dual CC. I just pretty much always have a Witch Slayer over Glacius. There seems to me very little reason why you'd pick a Glacius over a Witch Slayer. The only thing I can think of is the mana, but teams don't use that, so Witch Slayer has a Hex, which is better than the Immobilize, he's got a Stun, which is better than the Slow, and his ultimate is single target burst damage, which is better than Glacius's easily interruptible channeling ultimate that almost never actually does a ton of damage because it gets stopped so quickly. But that's my little anti-Glacius speech. And we'll look at the Hellborn side here, off to a really, really strong start with Bensington, Bubbles, and Rhapsody. So Bensington, Bubbles, two heroes with some versatility. Probably see the Suicide Bensington and the solo mid Bubbles, leaving Rhapsody in the top lane with some sort of hard carry as the babysit. Could also see a jungler here. I expect we will. The other alternative is a tri-lane, because you almost never see dual lanes, Bensington or Bubbles, so I'm expecting to see a jungle hero of some sort here for the Hellborn side. They still got Warbeast available and Solstice on top of the Ophelia, so could be any of those three really. And the bans here are out. Raw, Predator, and Solomon are taken out by the Legion side, so alright. Those are three heroes that we never, ever, ever see, and for good reason. I think, well, Raw not so much. I think Raw could be interesting in the competitive scene. I'm not sure how viable he is, but I think he needs to be experimented with. Predator's problem is he carries super hard if you get him to like 800 GPM, or you get him off to a stupid good start, but there's so many other heroes that do the same thing, and with less investment. Solomon gets to 800 GPM and doesn't carry all that hard, so that's the problem with him. Moon Queen, Oogie, and Magmus being banned up by the Hellborn team. Nothing pretty interesting about Moon Queen or Magmus. Very popular, very strong heroes. Oogie is the bit of an interesting one, but hey, you're allowed a weird ban or two. So let's let them have that. The Legion side will finish off their draft with Polywog Priest and Ravener, so love seeing the Polywog here. I do think that's a very viable hero, and I'd like to see him picked up more often. We'll see how he does this game. Presumably we played in that support role. And a bit interesting, we don't have a true Suicide here on the Legion side, so looking for either a dual lane or a tri-lane top, most likely. Otherwise they could have some issues, as I don't really think that Dev, Hammerstorm, or Ravener could Suicide. And they don't have really great tri-lane setups in my opinion. They don't have an actual setups done for Ravener. And you use Glacius Freeze if you wanted, or the Polywog Hex I suppose, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but not really heroes you consider traditionally part of a tri-lane, especially because Polywog lights levels way too much. If he ends up massively underleveled in the laning phase, which is usually his weakest portion of the game, then he does not transition well to the mid game, so I hope they don't tri-lane this Polywog. That means that they're either going to run a 2-1-2 strat or probably aggressive dual lanes. Ravener will be headed bottom, so never mind. Yeah, this is going to be a 2-1-2. Devour will be solo mid. Hammerstorm going to head top, probably with Glacius. And Devour is going to be in the solo with Ravener and hopefully Polywog Priest bot. I just say that because I feel like Poly has better CC tools. He's got the strong hacks to set up the Ball Lightning on top of the Tongue Tide so that Ravener's Stormblades can do a whole bunch of damage. Glacius' Freeze will help out with the setup, but the Tundra Blast won't be too great for the Stormblades. It looks like they're going to send the Glacius bottom. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this, just because I don't think that Polywog and Hammerstorm are going to be able to get too many kills on top. And Glacius and Ravener should have some strong kill potential, but won't have as much as Poly and Rav would have. Hellborn, meanwhile, finished their draft off with Solstice and Pandemonium. So Pandemonium seeing a little bit more play recently. Just saw him in the last game I casted, which you may or may not know what I'm referring to, but whatever. Solstice, no surprise, going to be a jungler here, as the Hellborn did pick up two solo laners in Benzington and Bubbles, who will be taking the Suicide and mid lanes respectively. No huge surprise, considering that's what these heroes pretty much always do. Where Bubbles usually can frequently Suicide, but with the Benzington on the team, you'd expect to see that take the Suicide priority over Bubbles. And once again, no surprise that in the top lane we'll see the Rhapsody and Pandemonium lane. Very, very powerful here, no doubt. Lots of single target damage, lots of lockdown with the Flick, the Cannonball, and Staccato stuns. There's just a ton of physical and magical damage output that's going to come out from these two heroes. And I think Hammerstorm and Poly are going to have a pretty serious time, seriously bad time dealing with that. So we'll see what they choose to do. They're already playing extremely defensive here, not even going close to the lane, as Saluta on this Pandemonium is just going to basically get free farmed for at least this wave. Hammerstorm just apparently not feeling like he wants to do much of anything that involves fighting, so he might be playing the wrong game here. Rhapsody in the stack right off the bat, just in case they lose lane control here, obviously allowing them to gain it back. Hammerstorm missing a CS there, but not the biggest deal in the world. Does not have a Logger's Hatchet, so not a huge surprise that he'd miss a few CS without it. Missing a lot of CS though. And the bottom lane here, Benson's going to get jumped on, will be able to joust away, takes the Thunder Blast, couple more auto attacks, and he could be dead. He's real slow here. Ball Lightning back available in a couple of seconds, but Braver does not have the mana for it. Pot will be dropped by Benzington, and he'll be fine. So initiation there, pretty good, but not quite enough to get the kill. Bubbles Devour here in this middle lane. Perhaps a slight favor to Dev here. It's going to be really, really hard for him to kill Bubbles just because the Shell Surf and Take Cover combo. So yeah, actually I might give this to Bubbles. I think at least it's going to be pretty even. It's going to depend on how effectively Bubbles can harass this Devourer, and if it's this effectively, then Devourer's not going to do very well in this lane. Rune will spawn top. It is an illusion, and he's going to head up there for it. But yeah, he needs to leave, because if he didn't, then Bubbles would kill him, and might actually do so anyway. Shell Surf forward. Oof, should have ported with that, because that would have been first blood. Up top, actually, Polywog Priest going to get jumped on top, and that's going to be the Bloodlust. So yeah, Bubbles says, "I'll let you live." He kind of did. So Polywog Priest gives up the Bloodlust up on top, and it goes in favor of Rhapsody. Gonna be some nice ward gold for her. Perhaps Courier? Yeah, it's already been upgraded. Amulet Exile finished on Polywog Priest, so he's going for an early Ring of Sorceries. Not a bad item on him at all, but presumably not the farmer in this lane, so a little interesting that he's going that heavy into it. Bubbles and Dev going at it in the middle lane, and Bubbles is continuing to trade harass there. Shellsurf actually misses, and that's a good thing for Devour, because if it hadn't, that probably would have been a kill. As he's currently sitting at 280 gold or health, and the Shellsurf plus Song of the Sea would likely have resulted in his death with some solid positioning from Bubbles. Actually, they will get the kill there, so ends up being eventually Dev just hanging it a little bit too long, and Bubbles makes him pay for it with the Shellsurf connecting. And over here off the side, Rhapsody will be pulling the lane, getting some lane control back up here for the top. So actually things are going really well for the Hellborn side, even only up 2 hero kills. Benzington putting a bunch of damage down there onto Glacius. As they're up 3k gold, just over 3k experience, and gotta be a little worried here if you're the Legion side. Nobody's farming particularly well. Take a look at the GPM charts here. 250 gold per minute on the Ravener is their GPM leader compared to 340 on Pandemonium. Actually stacking the stuns there. Solstice coming in here. There will be the target on Polywog Priest. He's pretty much going to be dead. Staccato stuns after the Solstice stun. Actually, they're like, alright, we got him. Couple more auto attacks, and he's dead. So they're also going to turn their attention to the Hammerstorm as Panda is trying to block him out. Cannonball stun there, and they will get both kills here as a fat geek picks up the last hit. Meanwhile, in middle lane, once again, Devourer falls as the Kelp Field goes down, and he will take the stun immediately. Shellsurf Song of the Sea combo, and then last auto attack will end up in his death. So things going quite poorly here so far for the Legion side, as they're 4,500 gold down and nearly 5k experience in the hole. At this point, actually, their Hellborn are winning all the lanes, and they're winning the jungle, so as you see, Benzington at 260 GPM compared to 237 for Ravener, so that's not a thing that should happen. For one, because this is a short lane and Benzington is a suicide, and for two, because this is a freaking dual lane and Benzington's a solo. Will end up being the port bottom for Devour, but obviously doing it right in front of Benzington's face means that he's going to leave, so not a huge surprise there with the TP coming in. DD Bubbles, and Solstice coming in here top. Solstice will have the stun available, and they're looking for the jump onto a couple. Staccato stuns going down there onto Hammerstorm. He'll also take the Solstice stun, and that's going to be an easy kill. Shellsurf forward eye by Bubbles, and now Polywog Priest is trapped into the tower. DD Bubbles should be able to help clean this kill up if they want to go for it, and I would be shocked if they do. Yeah, they're going to basically collapse on him here. A couple more auto attacks, especially from this DD Bubbles, and that's an easy kill. Shellsurf over, and Bubbles will port off to the side. Be just fine. Invisrune going to be waiting for him as well as he goes to bottle that one up. Devour looking for the hook here. Actually does hit it on top of Bubbles, and Bubbles in some trouble here. Does fall. In the meantime, in the bottom lane, actually Ravener going to drop to Benzington as the Lancelot finishes him off. So Legion side getting their first kill as Hookmaster there lands a hook, and the rot damage a little bit too much for Bubbles to handle, so it will be an 8-to-1 hero kill advantage here for the Hellborn side at this point. So still things looking pretty good for them, but at least the Legion are on the board now, and they're perhaps looking to snowball that into more and more, although once again the GPM's not great. Hammerstorm throwing out a stun for pretty much no reason. Staccato stuns now go on top of him. He will eat the Blood Chalice, and that's going to be a pretty easy kill, as, yeah, next Cannonball actually gets tongue-tied in the middle of it, and eats the Hex, but Polywog Priest not going to be able to do something to save his buddy. Meanwhile, actually Devour killed somebody over here, and it's Benzington actually got a nice hook on him, plus the rock damage is there as well, and I believe it. I believe it that he's the Hookmaster. Well, he's good at the hook anyway. Landed a couple of solid ones right there. And well played here to Devour. Invisrune picked up by him as well, and he's looking for another initiation perhaps. Shellsurf gets used there, so this is about when you want to go for it, Dev. I don't know if he's waiting for help or something, or what his plan currently is, but waiting for the Shellsurf to come off cooldown doesn't really help you. but that's exactly what he does. Now he eats the bubbles, but she'll just be able to shell surf away, gets the hook, and does not hit it. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, actually we'll get a pick off onto Polywog Priest as he gets caught in the trees a little bit, and the ultimate from Panda will be the easy kill. So I think Dev probably had the damage to kill Bubbles there, but he waited for some reason after the shell surf came back off cooldown, and Bubbles was able to get the hell on out of there. If he hadn't done that, there's a pretty good chance they would have been able to pick up the kill. While in bottom lane, Benzington actually will use Nightfall here onto Glacius, and a couple more auto attacks will end up getting him the kill. Still has the Joust available, so Ravner not able to do too much. Actually might try to turn this around. Ball Lightning does hit there. Joust is forward though, and that's going to be a death on Benzington. Oh my god, Bottle Charge is there, just barely keeping him alive. He's looking for the last auto attack. Glance along.
I double dare you, motherfucker.
And it's the humiliation, so that's pretty painful there. As Shijong on that bubble spin. Anyway, up top, Pandemonium just staring alive, trying to live. Not going to happen. Last auto attack for Hammerstorm, but Solstice coming in here, drops the Hex. Town Tide finally coming out, and Hammerstorm will live. Polywog's going to pay for that with his life, though, as the Kelpie goes down on top of him. And Hammerstorm actually stunning the 2, but will not be able to follow that up as he's got no life. Shell Serve not going to hit him either. Bull's putting back to base, so really good play there from Benzington, turning things around onto that Ravener. Ravener here at 210 gold per minute, the highest roamer on the Legion side, dwarfed by everybody. So 9 minutes, not even 9 minutes into this game, the entire Hellborn side is out-roaming the entire Legion team, and that's usually when you know the game is really not going well. Another thing to consider here is 13-3 hero kills is not good, but it's not the worst thing ever. Hook there, plus the ultimate within tower range, and Panda's gonna be a lot of trouble. Probably should have saved that Hammerstorm stun until after he had, you know, stopped the ultimate. But hey, there's the kill onto Devour as the counter. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Glacius did get picked off once again. Hammerstorm falls here as well, so let's go see what happened to Glacius. Lance along, and that's what happens to Glacius.
Steady on, old chap.
And then, hey look, Hammerstorm dying again. That's always funny.
Quite right. Absolutely.
Gonna be the TP in here from the Legion side. Probably Devour, yes. And he drops the Shell Serve actually, so in a little bit of trouble. Hook completely misses. So, Hookmaster not quite living up to his name. Ball Lightning not going to connect either. And that's going to be it for the Legion side, pretty much. They're looking to get back in here, but obviously they don't have any way of pulling doubles in, so nothing particularly helpful. Hook there once again, going to miss. And the Hellborn are going to drop a Shell Surf there in the middle. Actually, Ravener taking a ton of damage here. Staccato stuns go on to Devour. Ball Lightning not going to hit anybody, but Dev could be in some trouble here. Trying to juke it, not going to happen. Cannonball forward and a couple more auto attacks. He will fall. Polywog Priest and Great Glacius making their way over. Shell Surf through, actually, he gets hexed. Panda Ultimate trying to go off, but it's not going to happen. Ice Imprisonment goes off before he can do that. And Cannonball forward actually hits 2. Panda takes, Poly takes a ton of damage. There's stun on 2 as well, and Rhapsody will fall the Ice Imprisonment. Actually, the last attack here from Hammerstorm off to the side. Benzington going to set up here. Flick on to the Joust, and Lancelot will finish him off. Kelfield not doing anything there, but it's whatever. Glyph goes off in the middle lane. Ultimate from Solstice being channeled, and for some reason, Ravener ported into that. Not really sure why, but it will be his death and the tower kill in middle lane, so to be honest, this is just not really very good play here from the Legion side, and it's a bit unfortunate. For the most part, in this series, these qualifiers, you've really seen some pretty strong teams and solid execution, solid drafting at most levels of play. Even in the round of 128, it wasn't like, oh god, this team's just failing on every single level. It was solid. I think that streak might have been broken here, as we've got really a very odd draft and some questionable lanes and some pretty poor decision making. So I think this might just be a situation where we have a team here on the Legion side that's extremely new and having some fun, but not quite up to snuff when it comes to the level of play that their teams might exhibit. This is the round of 32, and like I said before, they rode some forfeits in. This is the first match they actually played in this in this tournament, and it sort of explains some stuff. So I don't want to be mean or anything like that. It's just that's what the situation seems like to me. It seems like these are some players who were interested in trying some competitive play and aren't quite up there in terms of skill level, and that's totally fine. That's how you get good players, is you got to try. And you're not going to be very good at the beginning, but losing a lot is how you learn. Nightfall here and Staccatos on top of Devour. He's going to take a whole bunch of damage. Cannonball doesn't even hit, but it doesn't matter. And actually, up the side here, Bubbles will use the DD to get the kill on a Polywog Priest. So 2 for nothing there as they take a bunch of stuff. Actually, up the side here, they do manage to grab a kill onto Solstice as the last auto attack from Ravener helps out. Hammerstorm stun doesn't even hit. Top lane tower push will be pretty easily destroyed.
A Legion tower.
You also got to think the Legion side's eyeing that 15-minute mark here. Not quite 13 minutes into the game, but they got to be going like, yeah, maybe let's not do this for much longer. Mortisite gets dropped beyond the towers. They have plenty of vision. They have Glacius is here. They might see Ravener as well. Port coming in top. We'll see if that actually goes through. It does. Devour looking for a hook here. He won't be able to find one. Kelpfield goes on to him. Hook actually hits a creep. Joust comes in as well, and Pandemonium gets the stun onto 2, plus the Flurry. Pretty easy kill on Glacius and Devour. Bubbles getting jumped a little bit by Ravener, but that's not going to be nearly enough. He's going to get turned on pretty easily by the Staccato stuns and the last auto attack. Actually, the Joust coming in. Lancelot going to hit Hammerstorm here off to the side. So far, a 4 for nothing as Panda cannonballs in, but will actually have to run away as things are not going super well for him in that department. Yeah, I don't really disagree with that.
The Hellborn have destroyed a Legion tower.
And this is usually, I'd be like, oh, maybe they should do this or whatever, but I'm not sure there's anything to be done. I don't think this game is salvageable in any sense of the word unless we see 5 guys have a stroke here on the Hellborn side. Hook in will actually hit Panda. He's going to be in some trouble. Will fall despite the attempt to cannonball away. Ice Imprisonment is there on Benzington, but the Joust is also available, and he should be mostly alright. Devour perhaps looking for another hook. Is back up in a couple of seconds. Solstice off to the side. Hook does actually hit him as well, so once again a strong hook, and Hammerstorm will finish him off with the stun. So a couple of cleanup kills there. They do lose the mid tower, but they managed to pick off. Yeah, the hook is real. They managed to pick up both Solstice and Pandemonium with a couple of solid hooks. So Hookmaster, a little impressive, little interesting there with some solid dev play, but not all that great in the end. Actually here, Will Hook in Benzington, but not really what he wants to do there. Joust forward and then Codex on Bubbles. So that's where we're at this point. Bubbles Codex. One of those Raveners is real, and actually forward jump on the Polywog Priest, easy kill there. Hammerstorm is going to be the next menu on the next item on the menu. Kelpfield onto 2 here. Pandemonium onto Ravener as Hammerstorm falls. Blaze just jumping in here and will throw his ultimate, but once again does nothing. And that's a quad kill for Benzington.
Genocide.
So we're at 15 minutes and 20 seconds here, and I expect to see the CC vote. Actually, it failed there apparently. And it's going to go up once again. There it is. So just, okay, stop at Benzington. And that's just a simple case of one team being substantially better than the other, I think, and taking a pretty easy 15-minute victory. So iRex, Instant Reflux, will move on here to the round of 16. Very well played to them. Legion side, I think maybe some practices in order. But, yeah. There was something there, perhaps. I don't know. Was there? I'm not sure. It's possible. Don't give up, guys. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. And, yeah.